Die Frage ist, wer hat welche Versäumnisse, können wir hier nicht aufklären. Das ist auch nicht das Ziel, sondern wir wollen die Fakten eruieren. Offensichtlich gibt es mehr Beteiligte, als jede Seite behauptet, und offensichtlich könnte das durchaus sein, dass es ein Systemversäumnis war. Wir wollen aber auch hören, wie wird das in Zukunft abgestellt. Bitte schön, Herr Logar. Short.
But there were direct accusations, so I have to repeal. I mean, kot sem prej omenil, kolega verjetno ni dobro poslušal, državno tožilstvo ni bilo obveščeno. Državni tožilec, ki ni obveščen, ne more ukrepati. Ne drži, da je državni tožilec iz naše stranke, državni tožilec je neodvisen. Naslednjo, da je bil direktor obveščevalne službe, smo ga mi postavili. Ne drži. Na dan, ko je bila odprta sumljiva transakcija pri uradu za preprečevanje pranja denarja, je vlada gospoda Pahorja zamenjala direktorja urada obveščevalne službe.
Gut. Als nächster Molly Scott-Cato für die Grünen, bitte.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm really carrying on from the Chair's question, and I'll be very brief. It appears that from the information you've presented and other information available to this committee, that there has been a breach by the NLB in terms of its obligation to identify the beneficial owners of accounts and transactions, as they're required to do under money laundering regulations. So would you agree with that? And what about its money laundering obligations related to due diligence procedures, for example, checking Mr. Farrokhzadeh's source of wealth? So that's my first question. And the second question is about whether there's a UK connection here, because during the course of these hearings I've obviously sadly found that there's a central place played by London and the city in a lot of money laundering. So is there a UK connection here? I note that the 4 UK-based banks were all on your list, and did any money end up in London property? Did it end up in Russian banks? Where did the money that was laundered actually end up?
Ja, bitteschön. Die Frage ging an Herrn Mekina. Zuerst.
Okay, it was an echo, so I didn't understand really. But yes, the money went to all the major banks in the Europe, obviously. I mean, we tried to understand what was really happening, and the most logical explanation is that because big European banks were sanctioned by the US, and because US changed the interpretation of their laws in 2008, and started extraterritorially imposing the sanctions, many Iranians moved to the banks that were smaller, and then they were making transactions from these smaller banks to the bigger banks. I mean, but just another statement. What I'm saying here, I'm saying about the general pattern. I'm not saying that each of these several hundred or thousand transactions was clear. I mean, obviously, this guy was working for many people in behind, for many businesses. So I cannot say that if there is one example, probably. I mean, we know that France is investigating one case regarding fraud. I think this is what Mr. Logar mentioned. But if you want to understand general pattern, I think this happened, and if you then go ahead with this, it's a kind of a matter between states, so a different approach to Iran.
Noch eine Nachfrage, Frau Kollegin? Ah ja, bitte, Herr Logar.
Well,
okay, please.
Hvala, predsednik. Zdaj, največ sredstev je bilo nakazano v Nemčijo. Drugače izstopajo še Italija, tudi v Veliko Britanijo so bile nakazana sredstva. Francija recimo, zanimivo je, da so posamezniki, ki so prejeli denar, recimo kasneje bili izgnani iz tiste države zaradi kršitev oziroma drugih razlogov, varnostnih razlogov in tako naprej. Ko je zaradi tujih pritiskov Nova Ljubljanska banka bila prisiljena zapreti ta račun, je potem Irač Farrokhzadeh prenesel svoje poslovanje preko ene od ruskih bank. Se je pač preselil bolj na sever. Je po zadnjem času, torej v zaključku dela poslovanja, vedno več zavrnitev bilo, tako da so banke zavračale vsa nakazila oziroma večino nakazil, ki so jih prijele iz računa družbe Farrokh pri Novi Ljubljanski banki, in je bilo tudi iz tega vidika verjetno že kar precej težko poslovati.
Okay. Additional question?
Well, I think maybe my first question somehow got lost, but it was about the failure of due diligence and the failure to conform to the requirements of money laundering regulation. I mean, are there clear breaches of that, and do we need to take punitive action in response?
I mean, if this is a technical question, it's very difficult because the interpretation of Europe at that time was that Europe didn't impose sanctions on Iran, therefore transactions between two European banks were legal regarding Iran. So if Iran was buying something inside Europe, it was considered to be okay because Europe wasn't sanctioning Iran, US was. But then at some point, US changed the interpretation of their laws, and they say even if Iran is making transactions between Berlin and Paris in dollars, this means it's a breach of U.S. Law. I mean, what I'm trying to say is it was a very difficult matter, complicated stuff. As you can see before from the sanction imposed, obviously a lot of lawyers, a lot of countries were thinking about this, what is here money laundering, what is not money laundering, etc.
Ja, vielen Dank. Wir haben jetzt noch insgesamt 3 Redner auf der Liste. Als erster David Coburn.
Dankeschön, Herr President. Well, I don't know what to make of all this. Seems to me like an enormous storm in a teacup. I don't exactly know what your point is. Basically, you don't like American policy. In Iran, well, that's neither here nor there. And it seems like a problem between police and judiciary in Slovenia. Why didn't they act? Well, why doesn't Slovenia just sort it out? This should be left to the Slovenian government to investigate, nothing to do with the EU. It's interesting to have a hearing, but this should be the competence of the nation state, not the EU. They shouldn't be sticking their noses into everyone else's business. The EU is just looking for something to do, interfering in just about everything, to justify the huge bureaucracy and massive salaries of the people in this building. States should resist EU interference. Let's keep banks out of government's hands. We need free markets, not crony capitalism. And that's what you're after, crony capitalism. Now, Miss Scott Cato again, so I'm afraid she's not here, but she again had a cake at the City of London. Well, the City of London makes a great deal of money for Great Britain. It's one of the most important things we have. And it's under attack by the European Union because they want to get more money out of the British taxpayer as a divorce settlement. And quite frankly, it's very wrong of her to have a go at the City of London. And quite frankly, as a British person and a British representative of the people, I find it distasteful. But there you are. I can't understand, sir, what this is all about. It seems like a waste of everybody's time and taxpayers' money. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Vielen Dank, David. David hat gerade ein Plädoyer dafür gegeben, dass wir das Euro-Clearing in die Eurozone holen und nicht länger in London lassen. Bitte, wer hat eine Antwort? Wer möchte antworten? Bitte schön, Herr Logar.
Hvala, predsednik. Jaz bi rad opozoril, da se v primeru preprečevanja pranja denarja vedno preiskuje 2 zadevi. Eno je preprečevanje pranja denarja, sum pranja denarja in financiranje terorizma. Prej sem pokazal nek primer, ki ga imate tudi v prezentaciji, kako lahko iz teh milijard na preko 2000 računov posameznikov lahko v teh 2 letih steklo preko 100 milijonov evrov denarja iz bank, ki je potem lahko zaradi prostih mej končal kjerkoli. Jaz bi rad na nekaj dodatnega še upozoril. Zdaj, o tem govorimo tu zato, ker ste nas povabili in sem hvaležen, da ste povabili, da lahko predstavimo ta primer, Ampak če bi institucije v Sloveniji to zadevo ustrezno obravnavale, verjamem, da verjetno do tega ne bi prišlo, ker bi to zadevo že predčasno rešili. Tako imamo pa neko zanimivo situacijo, kjer je recimo član protikorupcijske komisije, ki je bil seznanjen s to zadevo, potem preden je zadevo preiskal do konca, dobil službo ravno na Novi Ljubljanski banki, in sicer na službi za skladnost, in se danes primarno ukvarja s tem, da ugotovi, kako je ta informacija o domnevnem pranju denarja v Novi Ljubljanski banki prišla v javnost. Tedanji predsednik vlade, ki je bil prav tako o tem obveščen s posebnim obveščevalnim sporočilom, je danes predsednik republike. Zunanji minister Žbogar, ki je bil obveščen prav tako s posebnim obveščevalnim sporočilom Sove, je danes posebni predstavnik Evropske unije na Kosovu. In tedanji predsednik protikorupcijske komisije, ki je pripravil poročilo o stanju v bančnem sistemu in je bil preko tako imenovanega whistleblowerja seznanjen s to zadevo, pa v kasnejšem poročilu o tej zadevi ni bila omenjena niti besedica, pa je danes pravosodni minister in kandidat vlade Republike Slovenije za komisarja za človekove pravice pri Svetu Evrope. Naštel sem vsaj nekaj funkcij, ki se dotikajo Evropske unije. Povedal sem obseg teh sredstev in možnosti, kako je ta denar prišel v plačilni sistem oziroma finančni sistem Evropske unije. Orisal sem tudi, kako je lahko vsaj del teh sredstev sumljivega izbora, in mislim, glede na to, da je Evropska unija pa tudi svet globalna vas, to še kako tiče tudi Evropske unije. Hvala, predsednik.
Short remark? Yeah. Please.
Okay, just the police was, of course, investigating this problem. As I said before, according to our sources, they were in contact with practically the whole international community, money laundering institution, and so on, but they simply couldn't really solve the Middle East problem by themselves.
Vielen Dank. Ich habe jetzt noch 2 Wortmeldungen.
May I just finish off? President Langer says this is a reason why clearing should happen in Europe and not in London. Well, I'm afraid that's why London's leaving, because we don't want all this interference from a bunch of bureaucrats in Brussels who are destroying business. We don't want to end up as an economic basket case like the rest of Europe.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Das ist eine andere Tagesordnung. Das ist nicht die heutige. So, Brian Hayes als nächster für die EVP und dann Milan Zver als letzter in dieser Fragerunde. Bitte schön, Brian. Wir haben noch 5 Minuten.
Thank you, President. I just have 3 brief questions. One of them goes back to the point that the Vice President, Madame Gomez, raised to Mr. Mekina. And he spoke earlier about there are other cases as serious or more serious than this case. Rather than giving a narrative to us about the sale of assets and how some of that went offshore, could you give 3 examples, specific examples of more serious cases? The committee would be interested in hearing that. My second question on the issue of the Commission to Mr. Luker at the time, was there any pressure put on you or your parliamentary commission at the time of the investigation in terms of doing your work? And were you able to source where that pressure came from various parts of the Slovenian state? And my final question is this. We've one example of the French authorities acting on a fraud case where there was, of course, multiple numbers of accounts in multiple numbers of banks. Is that the only case that you're aware of where the French authority is the only authority which has actually taken up this issue as a consequence of laundered money? Thank you, President.
Okay, vielen Dank. Kurze Antworten sind möglich. Herr Mekina, Sie fangen an, bitte.
Okay, concretely, during the recent wave of privatization in Slovenia, almost every selling of state asset was sold to the funds that were based in, let's say, offshore. Here I mean also Luxembourg. Like the second biggest bank, NKBM, was sold to Luxembourg. The problem is that at the end you are not really sure who the owners are of these funds. because from several years ago, the state is happy if the state receives signed statement, we are the owners. They cannot check the register. It's not anymore necessary. So we think...
Just to be clear, because you used the argument yourself in ranking order. Give me the three cases. You said, I mean, I find it astonishing a member of the Free Press would rank the money laundering cases. Give me the three cases specifically, rather than the narrative.
I just, gave you the second biggest bank, and then you have all the assets from, I don't know if you know the companies, let's say, DZS, the biggest company in Slovenia that was having pools and so on. It was sold to another American via, I don't know, Luxembourg, Shell.
All cases of money laundering.
Sorry?
All cases of money laundering.
I'm not talking about money laundering, I'm talking about observation. Okay, according to EU law, this is not tax evasion. If it's Luxembourg.
Milan Zver, ja? Ja.
Hvala lepa za besedo, gospod Langen, predsednik. Najprej bi se rad izrazil priznanje dr. Logarju za njegovo delo in pa za odlične in jasne odgovore, ki jih je podal danes. Pa vendarle bi ga vprašal, Evropa premore od leta 2014 en mehanizem, ki se mu reče zaščita pravne države oziroma vladavine prava v državah članicah, kjer lahko oceni, priporoča ali celo ukrepa, kadar države članice niso sposobne same zagotoviti vladavine prava. Ali menite, bi tudi v tem primeru Slovenija danes sposobna razčistiti to zadevo, to afero ali ne? Ali bi bila potrebna intervencija EU?
Ja, hvala. Zdaj samo, da se za trenutek še vrnem k prejšnjemu vprašanju. Če sem imel kakšne pritiske, kakšne posledice, pač lahko rečem, da v teku preiskave so mi, sicer sem diplomat, so mi vzeli diplomatski status. Da je to pritisk ali ni, to lahko pač sami ocenite. Vem, da so tudi moji družini oziroma mojim staršem grozili, nekako tako, kdo je rodil tega izmečka. Ampak, kar se ostalega tiče, pa lahko rečem samo, da se preiskovalna komisija občasno srečuje z na nek način medijskim mrkom oziroma neporočanjem o zadevih, recimo, ko so me zadevo Faroh na seji državnega zbora 2 dni to poročilo, ki je bilo potrjeno brez glasu proti, pač na nacionalni televiziji ni bilo niti vestičke o tej temi. Kar se tiče pa vladavine prava, pa je preiskovalna komisija ugotovila številne nepravilnosti v tem pogledu. Jaz si ne bi upal trditi, a je zdaj Slovenija usposobljena z vsemi inštitucijami to vrstno kaznivo dejanje ustrezno preiskati. Bom ostal pri upanju, da je. Neki pozitivni kazalci so, predvsem to, če bodo vse institucije ponovno odprle primere in podrobno raziskale. Bo pa verjetno treba kdaj koga, ki je sodeloval že pri preiskavi leta 2010 in ni nič ugotovil, verjetno zamenjati in poiskati sveže moči, ki bodo to lahko preiskovali, še posebej tiste, ki niso bile vključene v tedanje preiskovanje. In ne drži, da so podrobno preiskali te primere. Mi smo po neki lastni iniciativi malce preverjali tudi tiste slovenska podjetja, ki so prejela sredstva strani Faroha in so nam povedali, da jih policija pri preiskavi v letu 2010-2011 ni kontaktirala, pa bi bilo verjetno najlažje kontaktirati prav slovenska podjetja. Hvala.
Habe ich das richtig verstanden? Ihr Diplomatenstatus wurde aberkannt oder ruht er nur, weil Sie Member der National Assembly sind? So kenne ich das aus meinem Heimatland. Da ruht es nur. Ist aberkannt worden? Diplomatenstatus.
To se sočasno je to sovpadalo z trenutkom, ko smo začeli zasliševati priče pred preiskovalni komisiji z nekim imaginarnim razlogom, češ da je moja izobrazba višja, kot se zahteva za to mesto. Pač težko jaz razumem. Zadevo sem predal na sodišče in v enem od sporov, 2 spora sta sprijržena, sem uspel, drugega še čakam, da se razvije.
Ja, vielen Dank, Herr Mekina. Zum Schluss, Sie möchten noch eine Schlussbemerkung machen, auch auf die Frage. Bitte.
No, thank you very much. No.
Okay, gut. Dann möchte ich mich herzlich bedanken. Wir haben nicht alles aufgeklärt, wir haben aber verstanden, dass es Mechanismen gegeben hat, die Geldwäsche geradezu gefördert haben. Von wem letztendlich die Auflösung ausging, sei es die Terrorismusfinanzierung, die französischen Behörden oder auch Untersuchungen im slowenischen Parlament, konnten wir jetzt nicht abschließend klären. Das ist allerdings ein Beispiel in diesem Hearing präsentiert worden, dass auch was die Daten der Strafen von amerikanischer Seite angeht, unser aller Aufmerksamkeit bedarf. Ich möchte mich sehr herzlich bedanken bei Ihnen beiden, bei den Kolleginnen und Kollegen. Und ich glaube, die offenen Fragen müssen auch in Slowenien politisch beantwortet werden. Die politischen Fragen können wir hier nicht beantworten. Genauso wenig wie in Luxemburg oder Malta oder auch in den Kanalinseln. Das sind politische Schlussfolgerungen, die eigentlich die Staaten selbst vornehmen müssen. Ich möchte mich sehr herzlich bedanken und darf dieses Panel schließen und darf